Hello, my name's Betty. My name's Vicky.
My name's Frankie,
And I'm here to answer all of your burning questions.
about microbiology and infectious diseases.
Why don't we start with you telling us a little bit about yourself?
My name's Betty and I'm a bacterium. Today I'm here representing bacteria that are pathogens, which means bacteria that specifically cause disease. Some bacterial diseases you may have heard of are tuberculosis, staph infections, gonorrhea, also UTIs and food poisoning. The majority of the time, that's me.
My name is Frankie and I'm a fungus. And get that mental picture of cute toadstool mushrooms out of your head because we're talking fungal diseases here. I'm thinking thrush, athlete's foot, ringworm, which is, yes, caused by a fungus, not a worm, yeast infections, things like that.
I'm Vicky and I'm a virus. I'm sure I need no further introduction, but I'll humour you. Some viral diseases that you may have heard of are the common cold, influenza, HIV/AIDS, herpes, measles, chickenpox, rabies, those sorts of things.
I hope that I can convince you today that not all microorganisms are the same. Yes, we're small. Yes, some of us make humans sick, but that's largely where the similarities end, honestly. There is such a massive diversity across microorganisms. Like when you look at the tree of life, as a fungus, I'm more closely related to you, a human, than to bacteria like Betty. I mean, Vicky's not even on this tree, but we might get to that later.
Okay, so our first viewer question is, I'm coughing and I have a sore throat. Will an antibiotic make me feel better?
You're interviewing Betty for this, right? Oh gee, she loves this question. Okay. I think it'll help if I start by talking names. So humans have developed a ton of pills for different pathogens, right? Well, collectively, these are called antimicrobial drugs. They work against microorganisms. So some of these are for certain viruses like me. These are called antivirals. Think of Tamiflu, which is used against influenza.
There are drugs that are effective against disease-causing fungi. These are called antifungals. Think of those creams you'd use for athlete's foot or tinea, that sort of stuff.
And then we get to me. Look, okay, humans could have done better with this name because drugs that work against bacteria are the ones that you call antibiotics. I know antibacterials would make more sense. It just didn't stick. There's this long history around the name. Point being, antibiotics are drugs that work against bacteria. So to answer your question, when you have an upper respiratory tract infection, it is most likely a cold or a flu, which are viruses, not bacteria. And that's why antibiotics won't help you because bacteria aren't causing the problem. Often the best and only thing you can do for a cold or flu is just to wait for your immune system to clear the infection. Of course, if you are ever not sure, please go see your doctor. There are tests to help figure out what is causing the infection, and your doctor will know how best to treat it. If it's one of my lot, just gotta wait it out, sorry. But if it does require antibiotic treatment, your doctor will help you. This massive amount of inappropriate antibiotic use is a big factor leading to antibiotic resistance.
That leads us perfectly into our next viewer question, which is, I keep hearing that antibiotic resistance is a problem, but I have only taken antibiotics once or twice in my life, so I shouldn't be resistant to them, right?
Oh, speak of the resistance devil. Gosh, humans think everything is always about them. Look, let me clear up the confusion. Antibiotic resistance is not about you, it's about me. When scientists talk about antibiotic resistance, they're talking about how the constant exposure of bacteria to antibiotics is making certain strains of bacteria resistant against them. It's nothing to do with individual humans. Because you see, the biggest advantage that bacteria have over humans, our sheer numbers. The same goes for any microorganism, really.
Actually, Betty and I were talking about this recently. I think I can explain. Okay, so imagine that you have a population of, say, 100 bacteria. And of those 100, there is one individual with a mutation that would give it resistance against a certain antibiotic. Now, if this population just goes about their daily lives, you'd probably never know or care about that mutation. But let's say that they get inside a human and cause an infection. So now it suddenly becomes important, right? The human will take an antibiotic to treat their infection and wipe out 99% of the pathogens, but that one with the mutation, it'll survive and replicate. Then the next time you try to fight the infection with the same antibiotic, it's not going to work. It sucks for that person, of course, but the problem is also larger than them. It's an infectious disease, so that resistant infection can then be passed on to someone else. And notice how I never mentioned our hypothetical person's history of antibiotic use, because that's not a relevant factor. It's the particular strain of bacteria that has infected them, that's what's important. I guess it's a pretty crude example, but I think you get the point. Generations of microorganisms happen in the blink of an eye. We can evolve at much faster rates than humans, so you guys have to be smarter than us to keep up.
That's almost it for today, but we do have some spare time. Do you have any final words?
I can share a fun fact with you if you'd like.
Wait, are you interviewing Vicky for this?
So thinking back to that tree of life, biologists are happy to classify bacteria and fungi as living things, but us viruses, we're a bit of an odd bunch.
Ugh, she's talking about the whole alive, not alive thing, isn't she?
I mean, I'm in this video, but even calling me a microorganism can be a problem depending on who you ask.
She is? Have fun with that.
One definition of an organism is a living thing, and there's a lot of debate about whether viruses are living or not. It's fascinating, really. Viruses are really just bits of genetic material wrapped up in molecules of protein, fat, and sugar. Our genomes evolve, which some people would consider to be something a living thing does.
She's still going, isn't she?
But I mean, we can't replicate outside a host, so if you define a living thing as something that can make offspring itself, then you run into an issue again.
You know, she could probably use up my extra time for me.
Some people even have the crazy idea of defining life as being membrane-associated metabolic activity. I mean, would you be happy with that definition? Sure, it would make viruses non-living, but now you've fallen down the rabbit hole of having to give a living status to chloroplasts and mitochondria, you know, the powerhouses of the cell and all that. Which, I don't know if you know any cell biologists, but they'd have some things to say about that. I'm out of time, am I? Oh, no, that's all good, all good. Yep, nope, thank you. Oh, is she done now? Well, I guess I just want to leave you with this. Vaccinate, stay home when you're sick, only take antibiotics when it's appropriate, wash your hands, do all that good stuff.
Final words. I guess the one good thing we can say about 2020 is that it's really done the hard work in showing how important infectious disease research is, right? There is still so much that humans don't know about the microscopic world, and making sure that there's funding and the support needed for research scientists to do this work is so crucial to move forward. Yeah, I think that's it from me.